Atheism is a joke.
I know, right? I'm always laughing about how I believe in things that don't exist and use them to explain things I don't understand, and use that ignorance and delusion in order to shape the world in a way that makes literally zero sense, and generally makes things worse for basically everyone. It's hilarious that way. No, wait, I'm thinking of apologist morons like David Wood here, and who could have believed that such a penis would be named for one?
With no punchline.
No punchline? I mean, why would there be? It's not trying to do anything other than express the braining of an individual. Now, Crimsbianity, on the other hand, has loads of punchlines, most of them being, and then this will definitely happen. But then it never does, because it's completely full of shit. I mean, people have been waiting for the second coming of Christ for like 1,000,000 billion years now. You would think that they would get the hint that he ain't fucking coming. He all cummed out. There is not Jesus come left, and you'll have to go to another sperm bank, sir.
Told by a comedian who's about to get booed off stage.
Okay, that is quite the meaningless metaphor. I mean, none of it even tracks together. Again, how can something that's a statement of what a person thinks to be, even if they are wrong, well, that doesn't make it not legit to think, because there are lots of perfectly reasonable ways to come to false conclusions. Although, in this case, it helps that it's obvious that atheism is 100% right all of the time. And if it is not, may Senor Goddington strike me down. No, this doesn't count. It's clearly up.
Some of you are too young to remember atheism before the...
Well, I sure hope not. None of you in here are younger than me, right? Don't want any chillins on this channel. Not because I have any problem with younger people being here. It's just that surely this is really boring for you. And what I would really hate is for some dipshit parent to come along and talk about what a bad influence I'm being, and that I should clean up my act and stop fucking swearing and shit. And to that I say, why do you think people liked me in the first place? I'm pretty sure it's not because of how goddamn family fucking friendly I am.
Before the circus clowns took over and spray painted the new atheism down the side of that crazy train.
Wait a second, I thought atheism was a stand-up comedian, not a circus clown. Make up your fucking mind, dude. And yeah, it's really ridiculous that people are more engaged with the debates on theism. That is some hilarious shit, that we actually care to engage and bring arguments and all that jazz. What a bunch of ludicrous assholes we are. Although, to be fair, there is no we in this. I'm the only one who gets to be absurd. Thank you very much. Honk honk.
But believe it or not, atheists in the 1980s and 1990s weren't nearly as angry as they've been in recent years.
What in the f*** are you even talking about? The only atheist I can think of from the 80s and 90s that had any real visibility whatsoever in the public sphere was like George Carlin off the top of my head. I'm sure there are more, but whatever. And let's just say he might not have actually been angry, but he certainly had that kind of presentation. But I'm sure there were plenty of atheists about, but they just generally were a lot quieter about it, partly because in the 90s especially, most of the real crazy religious stuff had kind of died down a bit, but you know, that's had a pretty wild turn of late. Now, I still wouldn't call them all angry, but certainly brash and not servile to you and your shit beliefs. That's for damn sure.
And they didn't usually care a whole lot about what other people believed.
And we still don't. At least I dare to say that most of us don't. I'm sure there are those who do, but in general, what you believe is basically not an issue. It is and has always been what you do, the things you say, the way you act, the ideas that you claim to be factual shit. That's where the problem lies for me and many others. As they say, actions speak louder than words, and thoughts don't even come into that game. Not yet, anyway. I am working on a psychic brain reading machine. Let's turn it on and see what you're thinking. Sorry. All I'm hearing is duh. This thing must be busted. Shit.
The general atheist attitude when I was growing up was...
I would bet the general atheist attitude when you were growing up was, what's an atheist? Someone who doesn't believe in God? Oh shit, that's what I am. I didn't realize there was a word for it. Cool. Although that's assuming you fucking knew any atheists in the first place, which in your own little story about how you are a fucking nutcase, I don't recall you bringing it up. Also, I do need to cover that video one day. It is freaking wild.
Look, if believing in Jesus and the Bible and heaven somehow helps you, I'm not your boss. You have fun in church.
And that's still what most of us do. If your church is just God is real, treat each other good, and all that fine stuff, sure, go wild, I don't care. But if your church has some dipshit screaming about how autism is demonic possession, or how they hate the gays so damned much, or how they are definitely not a cult, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to bring that up and explain how it's kind of shit. Free speech is not freedom from critique, and it never will be. God willing.
And go ahead and say a prayer for me if that makes you happy. What do I care?
I would bet the guys back then had you actually explained some of the ludicrous shit you believe, and there had been the rampant politicization of religion as it is today, you would have found them absolutely caring and far less live and let live about that shit. And frankly, the why can't we all just get along crowd today, well, they just sound like massively naive, smug jackasses when they come along to me and my comment section and tell me I'm bad for criticizing someone's crappy opinions. Because apparently they are allowed to say whatever the they want, but suddenly when I want to say something back, usually something not all that controversial like, hey, I think that's bullshit. That's going too far, and I'm clearly the problem. No, dipshit, you're the problem. And I will always respect you far less than even the shittiest of theist wankers, because at least they aren't pretending they're somehow above everything. Grow up.
There were, of course, some aggressive atheists, the kind that made people wonder,
oh God, what did they wonder? Was it something stupid that placed the subject of the anger in completely the wrong place? No, that's not going to be it. That never happens because of how smart theists like this guy always are.
how are these guys so perpetually enraged at someone they don't believe exists?
Yep. You see, Mr. Decock, that's not what is ever happening. No one, and I mean no one, who has actually put any thought into their position as an atheist is angry at any kind of God. Because, well, yeah, they don't believe in them. What they might be angry at, or more likely just completely exhausted with, is the, again, behaviour of religious people, especially the highly vocal ones, with, again, their shitter and shitter opinions, especially those who wish to base their governmental policies on shit written in a book authored not by God, but by people thousands of years ago who would have burned you alive had you shown them the magic communication slate you have, aka phone, let alone can it explain the way the world works today. Nothing they could say would possibly be relevant in this day and age. It is fucking absurd and was always nothing to do with any kind of God that might potentially exist in any universe.
But there were barely enough of them to be annoying.
See, that's just saying the quiet part out loud on the accidentals. It's not that atheists are all that different in the way they think and say things. It's that there are just so fucking many of us now. God damn it. Why do all these people keep correcting me on my stupid bullshit? Can't they just ignore when I say I believe obviously stupid things about the world? Can't they just leave hate preachers alone? Well, they stop trying to prevent my friends from getting into power and enacting absolutely gibberitic garbage as policy in my country and others. Damn it, it's so annoying when I have to actually defend my crap ideas.
Atheists back then got along with Christians.
Atheists now get along with Christians. I am the biggest asshole in the world. Trademark. No one else tried to claim that title. It's mine. And I constantly make fun of various dogmatic Christ boy beliefs. And there are Christians in my comment section right now who are like, lol, sick roasted us. Hilarious. Those guys are cool as shit. And there are even nice atheist debunkers and argue guys who have a pretty sizable Christian following. And they also think that much of Crimsbian claims are pretty silly. It's fuck knuckles like you who encourage people to do a big sad about mean old atheists that cause the real divides, obviously. Because you hate how attractive we all are. And to be honest, I don't blame you.
They had friendly conversations with Christians.
Yep, and they still do. Again, even I do, all the time. Now, to be fair, I have a lot of less friendly conversations, but 9 times out of 10, it's because said theist comes in guns blazing. He's been told by the likes of you, atheists are X negative thing, or many negative things, and they all have the same opinions, and they're all just out to get you. And while I tend to open pretty sarcastically, it's just my default setting, not sorry, I have regularly, though clearly not always, been able to talk some sense into these guys, getting them to say, hey, maybe all atheists aren't bad. And that's me, literally the worst one. Again, I think the only people really causing problems are people like you, making videos like this saying all atheists sound bad. I wonder why we don't get along. Me making fun of you for that is the least of anyone's problems.
They didn't lose their minds whenever anyone disagreed with them about anything.
I do not know how many times I'm going to have to reiterate this, but your straw man atheist just doesn't fucking exist. No one is losing their mind over disagreements. They might think that you're a fucking idiot when you say something that so obviously doesn't comport with reality, but the only losing of one's mind is trying to figure out how someone could say something so dumb without bursting into fucking flames.
They didn't spend every waking moment posting, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy.
Sky Daddy, damn it. The hyperbole is strong with this one. And look at you losing your mind when someone says something you don't like. It's not all of us, and when it is one of us, do you somehow think it's meant to be anything other than a pretty playful dig? Again, the only one who seems to be upset here is sat in front of a bookshelf that is clearly not there. Seriously, learn perspective lines for fuck's sake. That shit is distracting.
In fact, if you're an atheist today, and you were somehow able to jump into a time machine fueled by 1.21 jerkawatts of narcissistic personality disorder?
I'm sorry, Dave. There are no vehicles that are powered by a fraction of a second of one of your videos. I know. It's a damn shame. We really could fix some of the power poverty in the world today if we could harness your smug for good. But we cannot. Alas.
And you traveled back in time to 1985?
You would bear witness to the launch of Windows 1.0. Ah, what heady days they were. And my God, hasn't it just been all downhill from there?
And you told an atheist from 1985 that in the future, atheists are going to spend all their time on social media typing, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy, Sky Daddy.
Wow, you really are super butthurt about the word Sky Daddy, aren't you? That's like your whole problem. Too many atheists saying things you don't like. And if you tell him they are going to be on social media, then they're going to look at you like a crazy person who has no concept of the flow of time when it comes to things existing. Hint, there wasn't social media back then, you fucking dumbass. And if you explain it to them, they will be far more interested in the insane shit that people like you are super comfortable posting on there all the time. Also, they would find Sky Daddy hilarious because it is.
That 1985 atheist is going to ask you what social media is, and then he's going to throw his Dungeons and Dragons dice right in your face.
Okay, I'll give him that. He was smart enough to catch that little issue. And you know that not all atheists are Dungeons and Dragons players, or were, and not all Dungeons and Dragons players are atheists. So many weird stereotypes from you. And I'm sure some dumbass from your little fan club will come and tell me, it's just a joke. And, okay, fine. But so is Sky Daddy, and you can't have it both ways.
Tell you to get a life.
Look, I really don't want to have to know you again, but dude, also telling the fucking time traveler to get a life is a hell of a take. Not gonna lie. Time traveler, what a loser.
So, what happened to atheism?
Nothing happened to atheism except for the fact that now we can actually communicate with each other, see that we aren't alone, find resources to understand the things being said at us better, and thus be equipped to refute many, if not all, of your idiotic fucking arguments. And the fact that it is in more places than ever actually socially acceptable to be and come out as an atheist, when it often wasn't back then, hence the lower numbers being happy to make fun of you for being ridiculous. So yeah, basically what happened is things changed. Boo-hoo for you and your fragile little ego.
Who fed that cute little mogwai after midnight and then poured Miracle Grow and Red Bull all over the gremlin?
That's not how that works. And stop making references to things that I like. I don't want to think of you enjoying the things I think are pretty good. Somehow you liking them sullies them. Ugh.
I'll tell you exactly what happened.
Oh yeah, will ya? I'm sure it's some really insightful view that will expand our dumbass atheist worldview and not yet more stupid poison the well character assassination shit that you have been doing this entire fucking video. But no, seriously, I don't need you to tell me why atheists are more prevalent today. I have already explained plenty of perfectly reasonable reasons. They just aren't fucking stupid, so I doubt you'll understand them.
And once you understand the rise of the new atheism, you'll see why its run is coming to an end and why Christians are about to have not one, but two fun new arguments against atheism.
Sure you are, but it's not going to change the fact that Christianity is clearly nonsense invented by a bunch of sheep herders from the stupid ages and believed by people today who are somehow even more ignorant than that.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the